This is, sorry, I'm a few minutes late. And I'm in an area the lighting is so weird here. Hang on. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, so landscape mode. Let's see if this works. I've been advised to do landscape mode. All right. Well, I'm actually in a hotel right now, and from my room, there was like no Wi-Fi connection and no global data or whatever else the other one's called. Like nothing. It didn't matter if I was connected to Wi-Fi or not. I was getting nothing. I'm like, but I scheduled a Periscope. I have to do it. So I'm wandering the halls and came down, and I thought I was at the lobby. I wasn't. Luckily, I got lost in this really quiet area that I can talk to you guys in. So everything works out. That's really the message here, is that everything works out the way it's supposed to be. It seems like the lighting is okay, although check out what I brought just in case, okay? Is this not genius? This is the night light that I use to read to my son at night. And so my thinking was I'd clip it on to the phone carefully and then turn it on. Now for more light. Now my original plan was to have this on a tripod. And in fact, I was talking to my friend Ryan, and I had the tripod on my phone. It was coming out of my ear. I was like, this is so funny. I've already got it all ready with my tripod, and I thought I knew exactly how it was going to go tonight, and I did not. So now I've got my own little light here. Is that super cool or what? All right, so I wanted to talk to you guys about something that a lot of people ask me about, which is surviving child stardom and how I managed to not end up, damaged, truly damaged from being in Hollywood as a child. Because trust me, it's more common than not to at least struggle with feelings of just self-esteem issues and feelings of wondering, questioning your own value. Because when you're on a TV show when you're really young and it's super successful, then when it's done, you suddenly wonder, well, what would my value be if I didn't have this show? Because now the show's over, and who am I? And you get a little bit lost. I attribute my success story to two things. One, my parents raised me right. They kept my priorities straight. They were not overly impressed with the whole Hollywood thing, and they always said that health, education, and family came first, without a question. So, for example, the first year that The Wonder Years was nominated for an Emmy, we had already had a trip scheduled with my dad for this river rafting trip in Oregon and on the Rogue River, and it was amazing. I mean, we had so much fun, and that trip conflicted with the Emmys, and we went on the trip. There was never even a second's hesitation. Oh, well, we have a family trip, and so we're going to go. My dad wasn't able to change his work schedule, and so we went on this trip. And I remember my sister and my dad and I went up to Oregon, and we stayed in this dinky little motel with a tiny little old television that was probably from the 70s, and we watched the Emmys on that tiny little TV, and woke up at 5 in the morning the next morning and went on the river and had the trip of our lives. I mean, it was incredible. I have the best memories from that trip, roasting marshmallows and campfire stories and all the rest of it. So that was my parents meaning it when they said, no, family comes first. We're not going to all get all impressed with the Emmys and make that the priority. So number one, my parents. Number two, even after that wonderful, strong upbringing that I had with good morals, good priorities, I still struggled with identity issues after The Wonder Years was done. How old was I when I first did it? I went from the ages of 12 until 18. So very important years in a person's life. This is when you're figuring out who you are. And imagine if you're trying to figure out who you are and everyone calls you by this other name. Like, I wasn't DaniCam, I was Winnie Cooper to most people on the planet every day of my life. And so, and that was fine. It was kind of funny or whatever, but then after a while you start to really wonder, well, who would I be if I weren't this character? And yes, Fred was my first kiss. And so you just get really insecure. You get really insecure, and you really doubt yourself, and you wonder if you're important. And it's all the same stuff that every kid goes through, only it's amplified when you're on television. At least that's my experience so far, and talking to other ex-child actors. So The other thing that helped me will always be Winnie Cooper, LOL. I know, and that's okay. This really is okay. It's fine for you guys. Just for me, I had to be more than Winnie Cooper to me. That's really what I'm talking about right now. You guys can always think of me that way, and that's fine. It would be great if you also embrace some of the other things, like the math books and everything, and a lot of you do, and I really appreciate it. But I know that The Wonder Years was a truly special show to a lot of people, and that Winnie Cooper was a loved character, and I'm so grateful that I got to be that for so many of you, and that's wonderful. But for me, I needed to find out who Danica was. So right after The Wonder Years ended, it was just a few months later that I graduated from high school, and I went to UCLA. So I was like, oh, new chapter of my life. I'm starting college, and this is all new now, and my life, the past is the past. And of course, it wasn't, because everybody at UCLA was like, Winnie Cooper, and in fact, I tried to stay in the dorms, and I couldn't because I was just getting harassed, and so I realized that I couldn't live on campus, and that was kind of sad, but whatever. So what I discovered was the math department at UCLA, oddly enough. And I went through my own struggles about like, oh, would I be able to handle college math, or would that be too hard? But luckily I went ahead and just, tackled the challenge. And within the halls of the math department, I was not Winnie Cooper. I was this really hotshot little student who loved math. And I was a calculus tutor, so I was known as not that girl from TV, but that girl who helped me pass calculus. In fact, that happened to me. That very thing happened to me. I'm now quoting another story. When I went to Sundance a few years later, I was standing in line with all these celebrities. We're all trying to get into this big party. It was like the party, and there were celebrities bigger names than me in front of me, behind me in line. Nobody was getting in. And suddenly, I'm not kidding, I'm not making this up, the bouncer said, hey, DaniCam, come here. I bring your friends. I had some friends with me, and I walked up to the front. I was bewildered. The guy looked kind of familiar, but I wasn't really sure. He goes, "It's me, John. You helped me pass calculus. Come on in. You guys are in." I was floored, and I just thought, wow, this is a moment. This is a moment for me. That was a few years after UCLA, and I just was so happy. Anyway, so within the halls of the math department, I became known as this math lover and somebody who was able to help tutor other people, and I felt so valuable and valued and important for something that had nothing to do with the Wonder Years, that had nothing to do with Hollywood, had everything to do with something that I was building inside of me, and that really meant a lot. So that is, in a nutshell, my story of how I believe I was able to overcome those hurdles and not end up really depressed as an adult, which happens to a lot of kids who grew up in front of the screen. And worse happens. Used to be a good friend, Jonathan Brandis, ended his life because he he was just really, really in a bad place, and it's so sad. And I wish that people who are going through that, I wish there were just like a support group or something for them. Certainly the rest of us who grew up on TV would be more than happy to talk to anybody who's in that situation and who's feeling really sad. So that is my story. Now I want to open it up to questions. You guys have probably been asking me questions, but I've learned now that if I read the questions too much or the text messages too much when I'm talking, that I end up sounding really schizophrenic and scatterbrained. So, okay, so I see Mom is here supervising, LOL. She's not supervising. She's just like my biggest fan, and she's amazing, and I love her. Stylishly social, thank you for sharing. So do you guys have any questions about what I just told you about the process, about what it's like to be a child actor or an actor in general, or any of the struggles or the math stuff, anything at all that you guys are curious about? And thank you so much, by the way, for all the hearts and for all the sharing. How old am I now? I am 40 years old. If the sanitation worker doesn't pan out, okay, Draco, right. Oh my gosh, so many questions. Oh, I wish I could slow them down. Loved your boot shots, thank you. Okay, so my son Draco, yes, he loves garbage, and he wants to be a garbage man when he grows up. All the family and everybody we talk to, of course, says, oh, he'll just take over the sanitation department and make huge, big changes and revolutionize the way we deal with waste management. Maybe. So the question that somebody asked me was, if the sanitation thing doesn't pan out, would I be okay with him being an actor? And the answer is, I'm okay with whatever he wants to do. I want to support him, whatever he wants to do. At this point, he really loves trash. What was it like to be Fred's love interest again in Working? Oh my goodness, that was so long ago. That was almost 20 years ago. That was 18 years ago when he had this other series called Working, and he and I did 2 episodes of his show. It was fun. How old is he? My son is 5. You've aged quite well. Thank you. Healthy eating is really it. I can do a scope about that sometime. If I would change anything about Winnie, what would it be? Oh, I'm not objective enough to say that. I mean, she and I were very close. Like, in other words, the writers would listen, and the producers would listen to me and pay attention to me, and then write stuff that was sort of appropriate for that. The differences between me and Winnie Cooper, she had a lot more sadness in her life, I think. She's just kind of more moody. But we were both very serious students and wanted to be good girls and all that rest of it. So there was a lot of similarities. Caught your scope on DWTS. Cool. Yeah, that was kind of fun. I like the idea of bringing you guys backstage and showing you the guts of Dancing with the Stars. Thank you, P Troop 34. And again, Stylishly Social. Love the Wonder Years. Never missed an episode. Awesome. Thank you so much. Dancing with the Stars was a really great experience. Very challenging. And that will be its own scope at some point, I promise. Am I rich? You know what? Everything is relative. That's all I'm going to say about that. Why do I Periscope now? I love it. You know what? I don't have a good answer for that. I just really love it. From the moment that I started, which was I think 12 days ago now, I was just drawn to it, and it's kind of like the most interactive you can be with people who don't know you, but who you're having an impact on, and it's an amazing feeling. I don't really have a logical explanation, except that I really love it. Yes, I do know who Fred Willard is, and he and I worked together once a long time ago on an independent film called The Year That Trembled. It's called. Yeah, so I just love Periscoping. You know, it's like you know what Periscope is, and I keep trying to think to myself, like, what is it about Periscope? It's kind of like, I mean, for you guys, it's kind of like a reality show. It's like a real reality show, because we all know that reality TV is a lot of writing, right? Do you guys know that? It's like all scripted. It's all pretend. I hate to say it, but it's all staged and pretend. But this is actually real. And it's the only social media. Periscope is the only social media where you know for sure that the person that you think is doing the social media is actually doing it. Because even if people are verified on Twitter, they can have their managers or their publicist doing their tweets for them, right? But this is me and you guys, and that's it. And that's, to me, really cool. That's your perspective, right? My perspective is, I don't know, it's like this interaction. I get to see, you're related to Fred Willard. Awesome. I just think it's really neat. It's also a little bit like talking in the mirror, and that's the weird part about it. For some reason, I don't mind. I do post my Instagram posts myself. Yes, I do. Do I like being remembered as Winnie Cooper from Wonder? I don't mind being remembered as Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years, which I covered a minute ago. I think that it's great. I love it. I'm so glad that I had that much of an impact. Have I thought about writing an autobiography? I have thought about it. But I feel like I need to live more life still. I want to see how this whole parenthood thing goes, and I don't know, I just feel like I need to live more life before I write an autobiography. It seems like it'd be kind of strange. Am I going to act again? I do act. In fact, I have a movie on the Hallmark Channel, another one coming out November 27th. It's a Friday, the Friday right after Thanksgiving, just so you guys can start your Christmas season early. Christmas movies. Hallmark is awesome, and they do Christmas like starting next week. I mean, it's all Christmas. I'm doing a bunch of stuff for Hallmark, and we're doing something the 9th. We're taping something. I'm not sure when it airs, but oh, you're so sweet. The Hart party years. Thank you. You're all so nice to me. Do you know how many hearts I get? Like, I have like 200,000 hearts after 12 days. And I only have 3,000 followers. You guys are rock stars. I appreciate it so much. It's so nice. Am I and Candace friends? Yes, we are good friends. Candace Cameron Bure now. We've known each other forever. And she does a lot of Hallmark movies. She's been doing them for years now. I've only done 2 so far, but they're really fun. What child actors am I still close to? Well, Candace Cameron Bure, Jason Marsden, who is on Periscope. He was on Step by Step, and he's like a voiceover king. He and I do a lot of, we've done voiceovers together before, and he just came to my house a week ago, and I just joined Periscope, and I was like, Jason, you gotta do Periscope. It's awesome. And so he now practices the drums on Periscope and gets people to watch him practice drums. I just go onto his page, and I just, like when he's doing a scope, I just give him hearts all day long. When are Candace and I going to do a movie together? That's a good question. I know. Hallmark movies usually only have like one female lead, but I think it would be so much fun. She and I would love that. It'd be great. And we were on Dancing with the Stars together. That kind of brought us back together again. Have I seen Fred Savage's new show, The Grinder, yet? Yes, I have, and I think it's great, and I love any show that makes fun of actors. I just think that's hysterical. It's like, I guess it's because it's like I'm laughing at myself, but when, in the pilot, the first episode of The Grinder, when Rob Lowe has a fan want to take his picture, it's like, oh, wait, no, let's move it over here, the lighting is better. I thought, oh my God, I do that. I totally do that. When somebody wants a selfie with me, I'm like, yes, but let's just check the light. No, it's coming in from this way, so let's stand here. It's like, oh my God, that's me. As I sit here with my selfie camera. Meta comedy, exactly. Thank you. I'm gonna do a guest spot on Fred's show. Boy, oh, hey, Ryan. Oh, Poppy is watching. Oh, cool. Hi. Do I have food in my teeth? Oh my God, you guys. I can't believe I had food in my teeth that whole time. Nobody said anything. They say that real friends tell you if you have food in your teeth. I'm just kidding. So, yeah, your eyes haven't changed. Sidekicks. Oh, well, that's Jonathan Brandis. Actually, I mentioned earlier. Yeah, Sidekicks is a movie starring Jonathan Brandis and Chuck Norris. I played Jonathan Brandis' love interest, and that was a lot of fun. She was on Big Bang Theory. Yes, I was on I Look Far Away. I Look Old. Thanks a lot. No, you mean mature, right? I probably shouldn't read the mean ones. You know, mostly you guys are really nice. Okay, let's see. Ryan says, what's up, Vin? To Vin Nolan, New York City. I don't know that, but hi, Vin. Hi, Vin, too. When was I on Big Bang? I was on Big Bang Theory a while ago. I played Raj's love interest. I'm seeing a pattern. I play a lot of love interests. And actually, so Kunal Nayyar, the actor playing Raj, he has his autobiography that just came out. I believe it's called Yes, My Accent is Real. He's really from India. And he's super nice. He had a big crush on Winnie Cooper growing up back in India, and so he said for him it was like this full circle thing that we played love interests on Big Bang Theory, and apparently he talks about this in his book. There's like a section dedicated to his life coming full circle, kissing Winnie Cooper, which is really funny. Thank you, Vin Nolan and Abby Thrills, for inviting followers. I appreciate it. Impractical Jokers, yes. What am I going to be for Halloween? Who can answer that question here? What am I going to be for Halloween? Somebody tell me. I know you guys know. My very first scope was about this. Yes, Leia, Princess Leia. Very good. Yeah. Let's see. Did I write the book Kiss My Math? Yes, that was my second book. My first book is Math Doesn't Suck. Second book is Kiss My Math. And then it was Hot X, Algebra Exposed, which when I first thought of that title, I was like, oh no, that's too much. And then for some reason, maybe I just desensitized to it, but hopefully it's not really too much. It sells very well. It's the algebra book. And then Girls Get Curves, Geometry Takes Shape. Those are books going from middle school math through high school geometry. Yes, Leia. Oh, I'm glad you like the titles. Have I met Danielle Fishel? Yes. Yeah. We actually haven't worked together, but we would see each other at auditions, and she's really nice. What does your sister Crystal, a.k.a. Becky Slater, what is she up to? She is a lawyer in San Francisco, and she has a 2-year-old daughter, and her 2-year-old daughter and my 5-year-old son are great friends, and it's so cute. We actually, we Skype whenever we can, and they just always look so delighted to see each other. It's adorable. You got to meet tonight when you were trying to help your son with math. How old is your son, and what kind of math were you doing, and was it successful? Well, yes, I was on Dancing with the Stars last year. I feel like I grew up with you. A lot of people feel like they grew up with me. And you know what? You did grow up with me. So, there you go. My daughter's in 5th grade. She struggled with 4th grade math. Did you guys use, because 5th grade, that's the right age for Math Doesn't Suck. So, oh, he's 11, algebra. He's probably doing pre-algebra. Try my second book called Kiss My Math. That one covers pre-algebra. It teaches solving for x, graphing, really getting comfortable with variables. You'll see the very first chapter, I introduce x, and I have x actually saying hi. And we call, instead of algebra, we call it Happy Land, because that just takes the edge off of algebra. I had so much fun writing those books, I gotta say. All right, did I ever go to a public school? No, I did not go to public school. I went to private school, and I went back and forth between my private school and the set, because I was on the wonder years from the ages of 12 to 18. So I would just get my homework assignments and take them with me to set, and then do them and go back and forth. It would have been very difficult to do that with private school, I think. I should scope with the hubby sometime. My husband did say hi on, he said hi on a couple of my scopes. He usually just pops in his head and says hi. Thank you, Fox Beaver, for inviting followers. What are my thoughts on Common Core? I cannot believe how many people ask me that. I really need to do more studying about that. Thank you, Jay Forsyth. From what I understand, the Common Core, what it does is it makes it more like tactile. So what was happening in this country is more and more textbooks were being written by different states, and each of them were kind of one-upping the other ones. So there were more and more topics being covered in each textbook. And because of that, the math was getting way too advanced. So an 8th grader might be doing what they should be doing in 10th grade. And because of that, it just things got out of hand. And so Common Core said, look guys, let's just slow everything down, get back to the basics, and really understand the basics. But instead of just doing that, as I understand it, they kind of went beyond that, and now what they're doing is they say, well, let's not just go back to the basics. Let's make sure they understand it like in a tactile way. So we're going to have them counting like all these boards of like hundreds and tens and drawing things and really slowing it down, maybe too much, to the point where it's a little bit unrecognizable to the parents, and that is one of the issues. So I'm making a slow but steady study of this, and I feel like all these people are looking to me to help with Common Core. I feel like people are saying, come on, we need you, do something about this. So I'm feeling the call, I really am, and I will continue to read up on it, because there are a lot of parents who are having a really hard time with Common Core. Who was it yesterday? The other day, this weekend, it was Melissa Joan Hart. How many of you know who that is? Melissa Joan Hart. She was on a show called Clarissa Explains It All. I Instagrammed a picture of the two of us together. She was telling me that her child, I can't remember how old, but I think it was 7th grade, and they're on the East Coast, but she was having a really hard time helping her daughter, I think it was, with, her son, with math, because instead of carrying like the one, like doing addition with 2 columns, that they were having them do something to the side that was different, and I need to look into what that is to see exactly what she was talking about. But she was like, oh, I didn't even understand it. I'm like, don't give up. Don't give up. It is not too hard. Trust me, it's not going to be too hard for you to learn what that is. Have your son explain it to you. It's one of the best ways you learn is by explaining it to someone else anyway. Explain what he's doing over there, and then you'll get it, and you'll be able to help him with it. So anyway, all of you parents out there, if you're struggling, please don't give up. You are more than capable of learning this stuff, especially if they're like, oh no, I'm sorry, not 7th grade, age 7, like 2nd grade. So anyway, please don't give up. Somebody's giving me a whole lot of hearts. Like one person suddenly was like all one color. I've learned now that each person gets a different color, kind of. Obviously they're repeats, but that's kind of why they're different colors. I was like, what makes the different colors? So whenever I see like one color going all the way up a lot, I'm like, oh, somebody's just sitting there tapping for me. Very sweet. I'm one of the very few stars who writes really useful books. Oh, thank you. Well, and that's also why I'm not writing an autobiography. I'm spending time writing the books that I think are really going to help, because I have something to offer. I have this love of math, and I know that I have entertaining ways of explaining it, and it's just such a scary subject otherwise for a lot of people, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I'm going to probably wrap this up in a few minutes. Are there any other questions you guys have? I gotta call him back. My fave this season on Dancing with the Stars, well, I'm always rooting for Val, but I have to say that Bindi and Derek are awfully cute. And yes, I did major in math. No, I am not on Coke of either kind. I don't drink soft drinks. I'm sure that's what you're referring to. how do I get someone over the fear of math? That is its whole own scope, but depending on your age, I gotta do this. But math doesn't suck. The whole point is that math is a foreign language, and you need somebody to translate that for you. And it doesn't have to be scary. Math is a language. You can speak about anything in the language of math. You can talk about your taxes. You can talk about the shade of lipstick you're wearing. And that's what I do in my books, is to try to take that edge of fear off of math, because it doesn't have to be scary. It just often is seen that way. So I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all your hearts. I'm taking my little light down now. And you're great. And I'll be scoping again very soon, I am sure. Okay, bye.